make it to the inline and what their service looks like allows a player like Dejan Joveljic to do what he does best as well. That's always going to look to get behind the line and provide that transition weapon going forward.
Now on the precipice of claiming a spot in the top 4. And we are underway from Kansas City, and it will be La Naranja. Houston in their orange, attacking the goal to your left. Well, on the outswinger from Guilherme with the cross, and Hunter got underneath it. Dangerous moments. It's Sporting left off the hook.
At 100%.
As they say, turn from Buzat trying to release the run. It's in for Ennali, pulls it back. Guilherme misses. Hector Herrera cleared off the line. A brilliant move from the Houston Dynamo, and it was almost SKC's undoing.
The Houston Dynamo in the wide area, and he had time to look, Lawrence Ennali. He missed Guilherme. Hector Herrera was coming from underneath it.
The touch from Edjabang. Muscular challenge. The referee waves play on. The break may be on. We'll see the transition defending much better tonight from Sporting, but they're up against it once again. And the effervescent Guilherme, he took a paw at it and actually made contact with his hand. That's what the referee spotted. And a congratulatory handshake from Amir Karic. They got a little help from the referee.
I support this message.
That's what defenders have needed. So a yellow card out here. We're going to see protestations from Sporting Kansas City, and it's going to be a second yellow, resulting in the red card. Off goes Ben Olsen.
A lapse in judgment at this point. The ball's played in there.
Major League Soccer along with Atlanta United. That has to change now. Here's Artur, and Artur summoning the gloves of Cleveland, who did well. Coming over from the Polish top flight. Another one of those pacey players. One time was clocked as the second fastest in Major League Soccer. Here's McGlynn, now opens up. This could be their moment. It's Guilherme! Ask and you shall receive. The brilliant Brazilian strikes again.
This cut here, what that does is it creates a 1v1. Watch the top of your screen with the run around. When you run around a player, you allow Guilherme to have space, because Jake Davis, number 8, the defender's thinking, do I stay with the player or do I go with the runner? That's the half yard of space that Guilherme needs to cut inside. Then he brings the technique, he brings the flair, he brings...
They restore lost pride. It's the Dynamo outfit, Casey, that they're really going to punish right here. Buzat just does that. Catastrophic error, and Buzat punishes for Houston.
A critical mistake from Calvin Harris. Watch in the middle of your screen. In the build, he's going to come into this area. There's nothing wrong with this, but he goes in the one-touch back, does not realize that Buzat is there. You have to take inventory of where your players are, what the press has been, the game, but the problem is Harris plays in the wide channels normally, so hasn't faced the press that Houston Dynamo shows. He gives it right to Buzat. Give Buzat some credit. Some 2 prep touches.
And for Houston, it will be Guilherme. Drives it across and belted in. It was a ferocious header. Sporting have to consider themselves very fortunate not to be down 3-0. A free header. The Brazilian has spoiled a few opportunities, but speaking of opportunities, one here. Joveljic with his first attempt. It's against the run of play. Harris, Bartlett. Shifting gears just slightly now, and Harris looking to drop that shoulder, plays it in. It's Reed! Denied, and the first time of asking here in serious consequences. Jonathan Bond from Sporting. Still life, and this one belted in. It's Bond again! Suddenly, SKC springing to life. Well, if they're going to go down, Casey, they will go down swinging.
I love the intentionality in the final third. They get there, they go for it.
Well taken point, my friend. Here's Jack McGlynn. And McGlynn! My goodness, a rasping hit. He has that in his locker. Duncan McGuire recirculates to Jack McGlynn, who will kill it off. And full time arrives. Sporting Kansas City held him off kept them in check at bay for 45 minutes.
Wins are hard to come by in this league, and so we're thrilled with the 3 points. And the first half, it was difficult. I thought they had some changes in what they were doing, and I think it took us a little time to adjust. Not having Matty Bogusz, we switched it up, a little bit tactically to try to get, what we consider the best group right now on the field for against Kansas City, and we were a little lopsided, and with plans to kind of fix that at halftime, and they bail us out a little bit with the red card. With the red card. So, and then the second half was very professional. That's as professional as I've seen us deal with +1 soccer, and just really enjoyed watching them deal with the second half.
Okay, we can get right into questions. Jorge, you're up first.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Out of your last 3 games, you've accumulated 7 points. Like you said, took a while to adjust, but talk to us about your tactics tonight. Lots of changes in the second half, and then, adjusting in that first half.
Well, even though, I talk about the first half being a slog, we have Lucas's chance, and we had the 2 best chances in the game in the first half. So, we're still unlucky not to get one out of that. We were just, again, how Guilherme's side just wasn't getting enough love, and there was part of it was designed to overload on the right, but it ended up being a little bit too heavy, and I just the balance from left to right wasn't what we thought it was, and moving Lawrence over to the right and Felipe on the left. I think we saw some really good things out of it, and things that we now have to put into our kind of cauldron to have those types of options as we go, and aren't have our first kind of 11 available. So it was interesting. It was interesting, and then again, as I said, the red card certainly helped out, and we managed the second half in the right way.
And then that second goal, who's being right in the middle, I don't think I could even see where McGuire was. I think maybe left wing. Talk to us about, those tactics, if you can share them.
Yeah, it wasn't, I can't take credit for Bouzet's goal tactically. It was, he gets credit for being a really high energy player that reads the play well and is experienced. And so I thought, he gives us a lot of miles and a lot of actions that, I was really, and a lot of it he's doing against the ball. And so for him to score a goal is a lot of fun, because you can give him the game ball at the end of the day. And, the team's thrilled because they know he's a very selfless guy and doesn't always get on the score sheet. So it was a really good night from him.
Thank you, Coach. Safe travels.
Thanks.
All right, Herman, you're up next.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I want to ask you about your all-star, putting the shift midweek, and comes and plays a full game and helps start things off for you in the second half.
Yeah, you could see right away, once he's touching the ball more, we're a better team, and that was a little bit of the issue in the first half. But it's why we got Guilherme. It's why we got Matty Bogusz. These are guys that can make the difference and make plays like he did tonight. And so he's been great. He continues to add up points. I think we've found a good place for him. I think early in the season it was really about finding the right partnerships and where he's going to thrive for us. And I think we've found a nice little niche over the last two months of where he's going to be best for us. Again, it's still been a new team, and he has new teammates, but he's fit in, and he's evolving. He's getting better each week as he builds relationships and grows in confidence in this league.
And my last question is, we can talk about the red card, but good teams take care of business.
we talk about defending a lot, and we talk about how, that's still where we want to hang our hat on, and Captain Obvious, if you don't give up goals, you have a better chance to win, and we know we can control that, and that's effort, that's details, that's principles, that's collective effort from everybody on the field, and it's been a great defensive, I think, record here over the last, I don't know, the last maybe 6 games leading into the break, and these 3. Give up 1 in 3 games, and put some goals in. So the team's they're in a good place. We need to stay very humble and understand there's I don't want to say better teams ahead, but this is a team that's still figuring themselves out, and we watched a little bit of New England, if I can look into the future, and LA, and there's better teams ahead. So we really need to enjoy this tonight and get back to work, stay focused, believe in ourselves. But again, I'll say it again, we need to stay very, very humble right now and keep getting better.
Thank you, Coach. Safe travels.
Thanks.
Rudy, you're up.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hi, Rudy.
Hey, I feel like this was a very mature road performance for you guys, managing the game, staying organized, taking your chances. How pleased were you with the overall game management as it went along throughout the night?
Yeah, I was really pleased with the second half, as I said earlier. We've been guilty of, not being patient and allowing these guys to figure the game out. And I think sometimes up a man, you get a little impatient, and you go for things and you leave yourself exposed, and there's some frustration. But we've got experience on this field, and they, again, the way they went about it, we made a few. It was good that they got the red card before halftime. We could make our adjustments, and I thought, we were dangerous both sides. A couple early services to loosen them up. Then we could come central, where kind of Guy's goals comes from. So that a few different types of attacks, and. But it wasn't panic after 10 minutes where we didn't get the goal. It was just continue to move the ball side to side, probe centrally. Let's get some crosses in, and wait for the goal. And Guy, once Guy opens it up, it's always going to be tough sledding for them.
And you mentioned this before, just road wins are hard to come by in MLS. What does a performance like this say about the confidence and the growth of your group as you head into the next stretch?
Well, I said to the men afterwards that this was never going to be easy. This was going to be a tough game because of what buttons are you pushing with this group to stay focused and high energy after a win coming in here. They look at the standings. They know this is the last place team, and that is that's a we push them to get past that and have a high level of focus and physicality and want and aggression and stay there. And that's our challenge right now, is to just keep pushing and stay at the highest level we can in order to keep growing.
Hey, Lawrence, congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.
Coach mentioned, that he moved you around the pitch. Where do you like playing, on the left or the right more?
Everywhere. I like to play everywhere, as long as I play.
And what has changed, or what happened during the World Cup break? This team seems a little bit more confidence, higher chemistry. What do you attribute that success, that recent success after the World Cup break?
I feel like we had a difficult. I feel like we played good. Like even before the World Cup break, of course we had a lot of time to maybe adjust some little things to make it perfect maybe. But yeah, we just keep going from where we ended before the World Cup break.
And my last question is, what was the speech at halftime from Ben Olsen, the red card right at the end of halftime? What was the message to the team
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. They're maybe not as high as we are on the table, but these games are always a little bit more difficult, especially away. And with a man down, we knew that they will maybe drop a little bit more, and that will make the game more difficult, less space to run behind or for balls through the lines of them. But I feel like we made it. We played very good, very patient, very professional, and just like I said, patient and waited for the right time to play the final pass and then score some nice goals.
Thank you, sir. Safe travels back home.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jorge, you're up next.
Congratulations on the win, Ennali.
Thank you.
Like mentioned, the win, right? Out of these last 3 games, 7 points. Just what does this mean to you and the team?
Yeah, it just means that we can trust the coaches. That they're doing an amazing job getting us ready for the games, and also that we can believe in us. I think we've shown it the last couple games, even before the break, like I said, that we have a very good group this year, and we don't want to stop. We are 4th place, I think, right now, right? And yeah, that's not the end. We want to run up the table and achieve as much points as possible for the playoffs.
How far do you see this team going up in the table? I mean, I feel like Houston's been a real sleeper team across the league. Like you said, 4th in the West, and I believe 8th in the league. I think that's pretty impressive if you ask me.
Yeah, when you look back at last season, I think we made a great bounce back for this season. It's not over yet. We have to keep going. Everybody knows the MLS is a little bit crazy sometimes, but it just depends on us. If we keep going, if we keep playing the way we play, aggressive, and yeah, just use our chances that we get in the game, we can beat any team in the league.
Thank you, Ennali. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Rudy, you're up.
Hey, how you doing, Lawrence?
I'm good. A little bit tired. Thank you.
Hey, you and Jack seem to be building really good chemistry. You know, how has that partnership developed over the course of the season for you guys?
Yeah, it was just unfortunate in the beginning of the season that he had a little injury and he missed a couple games. But even before the World Cup break, the LAFC game and a couple other games, I'm always looking for him, the cutback, and then against LAFC, I think he scored 2 goals. And today, that's I think why we did it, because we have a good chemistry together. And Jack is just a good provider and always sees what other people maybe don't see. So, and then combined with my speed, that's always a little dangerous.
And defensively, your pressure helped keep Sporting pinned back and eventually led to Possad's goal as well. How much emphasis does this team place on forcing those mistakes?
What was that?
You can hear me. I was just curious on, you know, the pressure that you're creating hitting back Sporting Kansas City and created Possad's goal as well, Chiqui's.
Yeah.
How much emphasis does the team place on forcing those mistakes?
Yeah, you just said it. With high pressure, especially when they're man down. That's also what the coach told us, that we have to put high pressure, and then maybe we get rewarded, maybe not, but today it worked out. Chiqui's goal, beautiful goal. And yeah, it's just difficult for teams to build from that when we keep pressuring them and just force them to play long balls. And that's in our DNA. That's how we want to do it, especially Houston DNA. So that's just us, a hard-working team, and putting other teams under pressure.
And then last one for me, Lawrence. Ben talked about it. You know, this coming into this match could be a trap game, just because of you guys seeing like where Kansas City was on the table per se. But obviously, you guys get a convincing road win. What do you think about, you know, what this performance says about where this team is right now?
Yeah, it just means that we made good steps this season. Obviously, we look at the tables and see where the other teams are standing. but I feel like we've grown a lot to not underestimate any opponent in the MLS, because and we've seen it a lot of times in the MLS that the last team from nowhere beats the first team, and then it puts you in a bad spot, or like I don't know. But it's just great that we all focus up and then that we are just ready for any opponent.